No matter what application I'm using, I have a habit of creating my own custom workspace because I like a particular flow when I'm working. I don't like to see a lot of tools, so I can focus on the artwork at hand. But sometimes, of course, the ones that come with Illustrator when you install it, these guys up here, are more than enough to do the trick. Now by default, you'll see something called Essentials up here. And these are going to be the tools that you'll probably use most often, hence the name Essentials. And 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty happy with this. But you'll notice that we have a little dividing line right here and something called Hunter Paint. Well, this is a workspace that I created because my nickname is Hunter, and this is something I do in Illustrator quite often. I typically do a lot of my coloring work like this inside of Illustrator. So I created this workspace. I'll go ahead and switch to it right now. Now you'll notice that automatically all the tools that I like to use when I'm painting have appeared. I have my transparency, so I can control things like this tier here, so I can make it transparent. I have my stroke, so I can change the weight of a stroke or this outline. I have my gradients, so I can have this kind of effect back here. I have the color palette or panel, my swatches, and my brushes down there. I also have layers way down the bottom, but I'm working at a smaller screen size than I'm used to. So when I'm recording, I work at a much smaller resolution. But as you can see, you can really control what you're dealing with. And it's kind of cool to see your name up there. So I can go to Hunter Paint, then I can go to other things like back to Essentials. And I can try things like Freehand. And if you're not familiar with Freehand, there was a company, I believe, called Macromedia who had an application called Freehand, which was the #1 competitor for Illustrator until, of course, Adobe bought them. And, well, Illustrator and Freehand, let's say Illustrator won that fight. Or you could choose like InDesign, another Adobe application, like Photoshop, painting, printing, and as you can see here, other workspaces. So let's go ahead and create one. I'm going to go ahead and open up some of these guys and I'll tear some stuff off. So I'll grab my color and I'll grab my brushes. I'm going to grab the gradients and I'll grab the appearance. I'll just put them over here. I'm going to take these guys and put them over there. And I'm going to grab my tools and I'll put them on this side. And I'll wait for the blue line to appear so I know it'll lock on there when I let go of the mouse. And to connect these panels together, I'm simply going to click on the tab here and I can see the little blue line appear, and when I let go it is now docked to the bottom of that other panel, and I'm creating a super panel. So grab the little tab, wait till you see the blue line, or go into the panel itself, and when the whole thing is highlighted you can let go and that will now live in there. I'll tear that off and put it in the bottom. I'm not a big fan of having multiple tabs inside of another one. I like to have just the panel so I can focus on that without having to move around. I like to really have a very efficient workflow. So I'll go ahead and put this over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head up to where it says Essentials, click on the little drop down arrow, and we're going to go to where it says Save Workspace. Then you can call it what you want. So I'll call it Hunter 2. And once I'm happy, click OK, and you'll see that it says Hunter 2 up here, or whatever you named yours. So I have Hunter 2 and Hunter Paint all living under here, and I have this little divider. So I can go back and forth easily between any of these or my own custom workspaces. So I'll go back to Hunter Paint, and everything goes back to where it's supposed to be. I'll go back to Hunter 2, and all the tools go where they're supposed to be. So it's really a beneficial way to work. So if you're a logo designer, just choose the tools you need to create logos and nothing else, so you don't have to see them. But if you need to do anything else like coloring in characters or anything, then just switch it up. Now let's talk about how we get rid of some of these workspaces. Well, you see that we have the Manage Workspaces option on the bottom. So I'll go ahead and select this. And you see that the workspaces we create live here. So what I can do is click on Hunter 2, for example, and I can hit this little garbage can, and then it goes away. I'm not going to get rid of my Hunter Paint because I love Hunter Paint. So I'm going to hit OK, and you'll notice that this name goes away, but I could choose Hunter Paint. Now the cool thing about doing that is it will respect the last workspace even though you deleted it. So everything is still where Hunter 2 was set up. but it will no longer be there again if I try to get that. So make sure you want to get rid of that workspace before you do so. But you can, of course, easily recreate it. So that is how you can create your own workspace to suit your workflow, how you can save it, and also manage it so you can delete it. And by the way, you can also come back here again, click on the name, and rename them if you want to. So just highlight the name and rename it down here, and simply click OK. By the way, one more little tip I want to share with you. You can also click on a name of a workspace that you really enjoy, and you want to modify in some fashion without recreating it. That's why you click this button here, which will create a copy of that workspace. Then you can call it whatever you want to, and then of course you can rearrange the panels and rename it if you like.